When will impeachment proceedings against Vice President Richard B. Cheney commence? Answer: I don't know.
Veterans for Peace were caught off guard by Chairman Conyers' reticence in regards to impeachment. On June 11th, 2 days after Congressman Kucinich introduced 35 articles of impeachment for President Bush, Veterans for Peace met with Conyers, asking him to pass the articles through his Judiciary Committee. Conyers told Veterans for Peace that he would unveil his plan to them at their next meeting, this meeting, which was held on July 9th.
When will preparation of all papers for the impeachment of President W. Bush be completed? None have been started.
While Conyers didn't say that he would move forward with impeachment, he didn't write it off either. In his recent book, The Constitution in Crisis, Conyers justified the legal grounds for impeachment, and during the meeting he emphasized the importance of his decision.
So I see the consequences as being historic. I see them as having an immediate effect upon the body politic in America. I see them as shaping how impeachments will be handled in the future and years to come.
Conyers offered only circular logic to justify dragging his feet on impeachment.
What is holding you back from beginning impeachment proceedings at this point?
Well, as I've said before, what's holding me back is that I haven't decided to do them. So I think there are enormous consequences involved in this decision, and that's why I haven't arrived at one yet. I don't plan to give any excuse. I haven't made up my mind. How can I tell you why I'm not going to impeach when I came here and the first thing out of my mouth was, I haven't decided?
Many in the room were outraged at what they saw as stall tactics and a refusal to act. Adam Kokesh, an Iraq veteran, described his frustration by drawing a parallel to his experience in Fallujah.
My team was called to assist in the medevac to get him to the field hospital at Camp Decotum. And he was on a stretcher in the Humvee in front of me, and I watched the corpsman treating the external wound, and that frightened, hurried panic on the road. And when we got there, I was there to help unload him and carry him in on the stretcher, and he was moaning and writhing in pain, barely conscious. And he flailed his arm off the stretcher, and as I put it back on and put it by his side, I told him, you made it, you're gonna be all right. We got you here, you're gonna be okay. And he died only minutes later from the internal bleeding. And I get the feeling that what you're doing and what the Democratic Party is doing is telling this country, as we are being bled dry by tyrants, that we're just going to be okay. That the only promises we get from Democrats are Band-Aids over these far deeper wounds than anyone is willing to really admit to publicly. Here, one of the arguments against impeachment is that it would harm the Democrats in the upcoming elections. And I hope that you realize, because you didn't communicate this when I asked you the question, that there are real consequences to not impeaching that are far, far worse than not having Democrats in Congress, in the Senate, or a Democrat in the White House. You said you've made thousands of decisions, many of them very respectable, many of them very courageous. But by your own admission, it seems that what's holding you back from this one is your own indecision. You said that I might be surprised by your plans. You haven't put forth any, and frankly, I'm not surprised.
After attendees voiced their frustration for over an hour, Conyers addressed the anger in the room.
You were an angry and disillusioned group when I first met you. And you may continue to be.
And they were.
I would have been open to anything that moved the process ahead, told us where we were going. We didn't get an answer to any question. In terms of impeachment, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know what obstacles there are to impeachment. We don't know what we can do. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know anything. He didn't tell us anything at all.